Hello, and welcome to chapter 194 of our streaming adventure. Today's plan is to do a little prep ahead of the showcase this weekend. And based on that, the reps I'm planning to get are going to be in ManaTraders series matches, which we have made the Swiss rounds for, but we can still work our way towards the leaderboard. Now, I went and got my 5G upgrade, dose number 2. So I'm hoping for no adverse reactions, obviously. But in the meantime, I am looking forward to maybe having paper legacy events again, like Missouri MTG type things. So, in that mindset, so I was leaving the vaccination site and I'm driving home, and as I got home on Twitter, I noticed that Anurag on ZD MTG was going live with Showcase Prep, and I follow them, but I don't always watch. And I was like, I'll click on it, and it opened up, and he was playing freaking Bant Stoneblade, and I'm like, well, A, potentially I was onto something. B, crap, he's going to tell everybody. But then the more I watched it, it was kind of like looking at his deck list and not questioning it, but there was definitely some dubiousness to the sideboard. Or no, just to the deck. So what I did, because I had screenshotted it and then posted it in a Facebook Messenger post, the detective work. Hold on. So I copy pasted it out of the Facebook Messenger post. This is some large brain technology. So if we look at the deck list. Now, there was a difference between the deck list he was playing and then mentioned that so this first one is the deck list that Anurag was playing and was 3-0 in a league when he decided to drop. But then went back and discussed a different version of the deck, which he said Goldakat was playing in the qualifier going on right now. So I don't know what record or whatever that is at, but I found it interesting that, at least let's look at the first version. So the first version, and I apologize for the blurriness, but that did not help at all. But I think we can get the general gist of what's going on here. So 4 Flooded Strand, check. Forest, Island, Plains. We just happen to be playing snow-covered versions. Caracas, okay, still on board. 4 Misty Rainforest, 4 Misty Rainforest. So that's the Plains. Savannah, Trop, Tundra, and then Wasteland. So that's 21 lands versus our 20. But for completeness sake, we'll make this the Anurag version, so let's add a Tundra. But we're not going to stick with it because we're about to diverge here. Okay. So 4 Swords to Plowshares, check. 4 Brainstorm, check. 4 Ponder, check. Spell Pierce versus Noble Hierarch. Now, spoilers, the Spell Pierce is because they don't play Daze. And I'm okay with that, because a lot of times Daze has done some stuff, but also I have been frustrated just by Daze in general not feeling like it's enough. But it's the lack of Noble Hierarchs that I have to disagree with. When I looked at the deck list originally, I was not the biggest proponent of the deck, but I don't know. In the time I've played it, I've come to like the synergies between some of the stuff, especially that Noble Hierarch on 1 gets you to, well, 3 mana, but 2 drop plus backup, or any of that kind of stuff. And honestly, I think not playing Noble Hierarch is literally wrong. But I don't hate Spell Pierce, so let's go grab Spell Pierce. What are these? What the hell is this? Is this the secret? Yeah, secret lair. Now, if my opponent spell pierced me with this goofy looking guy with his wizard hat, I feel like it would tilt me to be spell pierced by this. Therefore, I think I should play that spell pierce to mess with my opponents. That's all I'm saying. All right, 4 Stoneforge Mystics, agreed. 3 Sylvan and a Jet. I'm willing to cut the dazes, and I'm not... Whatever, let's put 1 back in. I think Sylvan Library will quickly be cut here once I look at the rest, but... Okay. Now, here's another departure. 4 Skyclave Apparition, a Brazen Borrower, 2 Force Negations, 4 Uros, and a Sword of Fire and Ice. So, first of all, I think Skyclave Apparition is very good. In what we have played, a lot of times... Well, okay, in the original list that I played off stream, that I copied somebody, probably McWinsauce. I like his decks. It's probably McWinsauce. So, just for example, let's put the 4 Skyclaves, but I'm not going to play 4 Skyclaves. I'm just trying to make stuff line up. Now, Brazen Borrower is a card I have liked because of the ability to, like, kind of just not get you out of jail, but bounce a troublesome permanent at exactly the right time. The fact that it's open to basically anything, any non-land, sorry, but these stupid sounds are still... I had to reload Magic Online. Sorry. Okay. So, Brazen Borrower being able to deal with any non-land. I literally just turned the sounds off. Or no, is it this? Because I want to still get the alert thing to start. Do I do that? There we go. Okay. Now, I have liked playing Teferi. Not only for the shields up effect that Teferi can have, but then it does deal with... It deals with many troublesome permanent types. But Teferi cannot bounce a Planeswalker. Cannot bounce... It can bounce anything else. Cannot bounce a Planeswalker, but it can bounce anything else that I necessarily care about. Difference being sorcery speed versus not, and Brazen Borrower being able to attack and put that damage on. I think that is a completely valid idea. And then they have a full 4 Uros, which I also say is still wrong. And then they have 4 Force Wills and a Batterskull. Okay, so we have... This is 67 cards in the main deck. Okay. And then what's the sideboard here? Did I miss? Oh, sideboard's up above. Okay. So, sideboard here is... Can you show me it a little bit differently? There we go. Okay. So they have Deafening Silence, which we have. They have Hull Breacher, which... If you're doing the turbo 3 mana thing, Hull Breacher would be interesting. Surgical Extraction, 2 carpets. They have 2 Veil of Summers and 2 Wilts. So Veil of Summer we don't have. Which has its moments. And then Supreme Verdict was kind of surprising for me that, I guess in a way, if you're not playing Noble Hierarch, then it's not that big of a deal. Or if there's not letting your opponent be able to counter it, like say Rug Delver or whatever has deployed a couple threats. Also, I was trying to think, we don't have a sweeper, and I've commented on that, and I'm just like, oh, but what even would I play as a sweeper? I guess in a way, say Stoneforge Mystic thaws out your Batterskull, and then at least now I have Batterskull. If I Supreme Verdict, I can eventually pick Batterskull up and replay it again. Like, I can live with that. Or you Supreme Verdict, and then you grow Uro back out of the graveyard. All of those are reasonable things to do, but it makes more sense in a deck that doesn't have Noble, doesn't have True Name Nemesis, which are things that I have liked that they didn't have. Plus, the extra Skyclave Apparition with Supreme Verdict is dubious, questionable, sketchy. So that was the first deck that they showed. Then, as he talked about the deck in review, this one is down to 20 lands, but I think has Windswept Heaths. Now, I can't think of a time... I guess, okay, Windswept Heath gets you any blue dual or basic forest, basic plains. But, yeah, everything is the same here. There's no... It has Wasteland, or it has Windswept Heath in place of these Wastelands. And cut the Caracas. I kind of like the Caracas, so I don't necessarily want to cut that. And then the other cards here... 4 Swords, 4 Brainstorm, 4 Ponder, 2 Spell Pierce. So once again, ignoring Noble Hierarch. 4 Uro, 3 Sylvan Library. I will reserve judgment there. Oh, this was the difference. It played Monastery Mentor. Now, Monastery Mentor is a powerful card. Especially, we've sided it in with the blue-white Echoes deck and stuff. And when you have all of these cantrip type effects, to take advantage, it's almost, say, Army in a Can-ish. But once again, the complaint I would have here is you're hoping to get to 3 mana. So we're talking third turn, and that's playing it naked. Or waiting to your 4th turn to be able to play it and have mana up to Brainstorm or Ponder immediately afterwards. That feels too slow. Imagine imagine, if you will, turn 1, Land Noble, turn 2, so you could deploy a turn 2 Mentor, or turn 3, when you would deploy the naked Mentor, instead you could play Mentor and have something up for yourself. I feel like Mentor would be better suited in the Noble Hierarch version, not necessarily this version. But then, okay, Force of Will, Batterskull, Jit, Swords, 4 Stoneforge. So this deck has Mentors where I think it's Mentors versus... What's the difference? Mentor versus Brazen Borrower. Brazen Borrower and a land, because the other deck had the extra land. So trimming a Mana Source 2 also feels strange. But okay, and then this sideboard, pretty sure that's Deafening Silence. Pretty sure those are Hull Breachers. Surgical Extraction, Veil of Summer, Carpet of Flowers, Supreme Verdict, Sword of Feast and Famine, and then instead of Wilt, they're playing the hybrid green-white Disenchant. I can't imagine the availability of green-white mana to be enough of a reason to play it instead of Wilt. Like, I can imagine that there will be times that Wilt could be cycled in some Hail Mary draw a Force of Negation off the top thing, that the other one will just sit there and do nothing, but I don't know. In general, it feels questionable. All right. Well, I am not legally allowed to play a 67-card deck with a 21-card sideboard. Well, I mean, half of that is legal. But I think this is too many lands. Now, I have considered throwing away the Wastelands. And my reasoning behind that is the colorless from the Wasteland, I feel like, has come up on, well, Uro specifically, but there was something else that, because I had Wasteland, I couldn't play. There was something I couldn't play because of the Wasteland not being a colored source, but then it could have been any colored source, but it just wasn't. So, but at the same time, I feel like Wastelands can do something, but I think it would make more sense as part of a dedicated strategy instead of, like, this is just like random Wastelands and like hope they're good. And I find that hard to believe that it will be good enough. Just the rando Wastelands and thoughts and prayers. So I'm interested in trying cutting Wastelands. But then I think 19 is too few. So what I am going to do is play 1 Windswept Heath for the purposes of, because we have Savannah, and another card for the Earl. Plus, it's 1 more green source for Noble Hierarch. That Wasteland is not. Okay. Swords, Brainstorm, Ponder, those aren't going anywhere. Noble Hierarch stays, so right now, to me, that means cards on the chopping block, or cards that I feel are movable, we'll say as Spell Pierce. Okay. Sylvan Library, number 3. Skyclave number 4, because I do want to move up, but I would say Skyclave number 4 moves over. Skyclave number 3 is probably. Brazen Borrower is on the bubble here. Now, they've all played 2 Force Negations, and I only had 1 before, but I only had 1 when we still had days. Question being, okay, Force of Negation will give you that protection, but that doesn't do me that much of a favor if I don't have corresponding blue cards to go with it. So I think one of them can move its way over. Then the question is 2 True Name Nemesis the right amount? Too many? I would think about maybe just 1. And I think at least one Uro is in the cut pile for sure. I think it's almost like this. The cut pile for sure is Skyclave number 4 and Uro number 4. I think those are automatic cuts that I don't have to think too hard about. And I would almost go as far as say Sylvan Library number 3. So Skyclave, Uro, and Sylvan number 3 are all in the, yeah, let's get them out of here pile. So then, my questionable pile, because I love Teferi. He's my boy. I think 1 True Name is worthwhile, so maybe the other True Name goes into the debatable pile. So that gives 7 cards fighting for 3 slots. So that means I get to keep 4 of these cards. So, in my head, Spell Pierces are on one side of that equation versus Force Negation. Whether that's correct or true or whatever. But I'm either going to play Spell Pierce or I'm going to play Force of Negation number 2. What I would start to consider is, do I have enough blue cards? So normally Force of Will count is you need to have 14 blue cards. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 8 is 17. Okay. So every blue card we put into the deck is upping the overall blue count. So in that case, Force of Negation in makes me feel better. I could say Force of Negation here could let me put Spell Pierce there, and I wouldn't feel too bad about it. And then that means I would only have to cut 1 more card. I think it's probably a Teferi Brazen Borrower situation there as well. And Teferi is already locked in his spot here, so that means Brazen Borrower can slide to the bonus slot. And that's 3 cards. So 2 Spell Pierces and a Brazen Borrower out. And that puts our main deck at we're almost at 3-drop tribal like we were the other day. But not quite. Okay, let's go talk society board now. I would like to see the PTQ results to obviously fine-tune what we're doing. But the heavy hitters that I expect the ManaTraders series so far. Red Prison, Rug Delver, Food Chain, Paradigm Shift, Death Shadow, Burn, Oops, Elves, Blue-White Omnitel, and Ninjas. That's correct. We played 10 different decks so far. So, I would have to say, that's Legacy, baby. Well, 21 cards in the sideboard. I believe we need some changes. So let's do this again. Let's put it back in a big pile. Okay. Cards that I think have earned their place for sure our Carpet of Flowers. And hey, Slightly Buzzed, I appreciate your follow. I am just trying to figure out what I'm doing. Okay, so Carpet of Flowers in. Sword of Feast and Famine in. I think the Deafening Silences make sense as well, so I want to keep them around. I want the wilt type effect. All right, we're getting into, I don't want to say overlap, but okay, anti combo deck in particular that I'm picturing is Mystic Forge combo, and that's the spiritual successor to the Karn Echoes whatever deck. Karn Echoes I am very familiar with, love deep in my heart, but that's a lot of what this Deafening Silence is for. In addition to that, I think Collector Oof has better mileage than, say, I mean, I am the artifact deck, so the thing is you can still drop a Batterskull out of your hand and it works even if there's an Oof in play. The other two kind of get neutered, but is that enough of a reason to play Collector Oof? Potentially not. So then what really else would Collector Oof fight against? Let's just take a quick second and look at, if we just look at like other things in Legacy right now, Collector Oof could turn off fast mana from, what do you call it? Like DPS is what Storm, Ant, anything like that. But there really doesn't seem to be that many other artifact decks here. It could turn off ninja stuff. I think. Well, we did play 2 games, but Collector Oof was trying to stop the Thopter Foundry thing. I know. In my head, I'm picturing, and I'm like, yep, that's what we call it. There haven't been results for a couple days, or maybe it just hasn't been Legacy events for a couple days. But now Containment Priest. Okay, here's another thing. When I was complaining about not having a sweeper, and I was trying to think what I was talking about, in that case, it was elves. Now, trying to fight elves with just like Swords to Plowshares and stuff, that was the thought behind, okay, well, we have Path to Exile, but once they started to set up, I got behind with the Wirewood Symbiote bouncing their stuff. Batterskull couldn't get through to gain me life. We couldn't get counters on Jid anymore. And it's just like, oh, if only I had a way to kind of wipe their stuff. And I don't have black available for the expected answer, which is Plague Engineer. But kind of like the idea of Supreme Verdict just going and wiping them out. It just like that. That's exactly what it would do. So I kind of like that. And if I do introduce Supreme Verdict, I think this Path to Exile can go in the cut. All right, we cut what? We cut 1. Now, we've played against Oops. And really, what other graveyard decks would there be to worry about? Well, I think the fact that Uro itself exists. Uro existing is a reason to still play Surgical. You know? I don't like Hull Breacher. I don't think that's not true. I like Hull Breacher. I don't think Hull Breacher fits here. Now, is Hull Breacher an answer to the Karn deck? Yeah, and it's a pretty funny answer if you ask me. But I don't necessarily think it's right. And then Hydroblast. Hydroblast was there, and I thought it was clever. But I see a lot more places that Hydroblast is just not. You're not going to bring Hydroblast necessarily in against Delver. Are you hoping to Hydroblast their Pyroblast? I mean, really? Maybe against the mono red prison deck. That's what I'm hoping for is Hydroblast, but I definitely felt underwhelmed by it. Now, it did come in against the burn guy, and it wrecked the burn guy. So, good job, Hydroblast. But I do think we could say goodbye to that one. And then looking at the rest of what's there. Okay, Veil of Summer, Flusterstorm, Collector Oof, Containment Priest. I do think Containment Priest is an interesting idea to help fight the Elves deck that are going to Green Sun Zenith, are going to Natural Force. Wrong. Natural Order. So Containment Priest makes sense to me there. Now the question is, should I have 2 Containment Priests? 1 Containment Priest, and then his best friend Collector Oof? And then this is me hedging with randos. I'm not sold on that, but... And then the other thought here is Flusterstorm. We brought Flusterstorm in against people, and I feel like it did some work, but at the same time, like, there are certain matches that the Flusterstorm just... What the card they're playing, Flusterstorm isn't stopping it necessarily. And so... Now, would Flusterstorm maybe fight better than Veil Summer? Potentially. Is it potential? Okay, I'm trying to run through matchups that I would want it against. If I'm trying to resolve a spell, and I play something, and then they counter, and my response is Flusterstorm, that is more likely to stop their thing. If they are playing something... I'm looking at the places that Veil of Summer fails versus Flusterstorm. But then, okay, now I'm thinking, what about Veil of Summer interacting with Abrupt Decay? Interacting with Assassin's Trophy? Interacting with... I don't know. Other blue cards and black cards. I'm talking myself into Veil of Summer is what's happening. Okay. So then that means I suddenly have like no blue cards in my sideboard. But that's not terrible. This is definitely a different take than I had before, for sure. Bantblade 3. Okay. Missing cards to the wish list. Export wish list. Yes. Okay. We will ManaTraders it up. Let's load a list. Okay, what was that? Sorry. Oh, that's funny. I saw what we tried to... Okay, so once upon a time, we had a Jace the Mind Sculptor. I don't want to name names. I don't want to say who put that in the deck, but it was not great. And it was not great. But I don't know, it still felt powerful. But the only time I think I cast it as a 4-mana unsummon. But it did the job. It unsummoned the thing that I needed it to. So I can't fault it for that. It definitely did the job that I asked it to do. Hey, please unsummon that creature. And it's like, got it, boss. But anyway, but the point of the story that I had started to tell was that instead of Jace, we said, oh, well, what are we worried about in like a Miracles matchup? I needed a non-creature threat. And the response was, well, we could just play freaking Gideon. Gideon can sit there and spit out 2/2s. And some other part of me was like, that's a good decision. It wasn't, but I thought it was, and that's maybe more. Maybe that's the problem. All right. Okay. It says 25 cards. Submit. Something feels wrong, but I'm not sure what yet. I guess we'll see. Do I have like a promo version or something that it didn't accept? Literally thought we turned the sounds off, but okay. Okay. So our surgical extractions changed. We now have this Batterskull. It's basically an adventure every time to find out what cards we're playing with. Like, I can't really complain because they're letting us play for free. By the way, thank you, ManaTraders. Always appreciate you. Thank you for sponsoring the stream. Check out code JPinter_37P and get yourself 15% off. Hashtag sponsored. But is Noble Hierarch going up in price? Interesting. Sometimes we get different versions, and as long as they match, I guess I'm okay with it. When they don't match, it bothers me. But I could probably get over that. All right, we are qualified for the Swiss phase. But let's go ahead and play another one. So, now we are fighting towards the leaderboard. Something about this deck is not lit up. Oh, we almost have Bantblade version 2, but we have different versions of Noble Hierarch. That's why it's saying that we don't have that version available. And that's fine. Okay, so this is the version we're going to play. Let's play a match. All right, I will join the match. Looking for opponent. Did I spell their name? I did spell their name, but they found me. Join. Match is over here for some reason. Let's bring it over here. I have to resize. Sorry. All right, we're on the draw. On the draw, opponent has mulliganed. I have a 1-mana play, but I don't have any 2-mana plays. But I do have a 3-mana play. I do like that mulliganing. I think I'm going to keep. Ponder will give us chances to find something, hopefully. let me know if the hand size or whatever. I'm going to have to basically readjust everything. So let me know if things look weird or not. Volcanic from them, Ponder. That makes me more likely to want to basic Island for my Ponder. Had it all. So I don't have days anymore. Now I'm wondering, do I dig to find myself extra protection? That's land. Alright, so I have another card to pitch, potentially, to Force of Will. I feel like this is one I want to fight over. Then again, maybe not. They could have days. If they have... I was going to say, they probably don't have days in the Taiga deck, but apparently they do. Kept one card. Brainstorm. I'm not quite sure what our opponent is playing. Really? Taiga in my Delver deck. I'm leading on this because I think it could be countered, and because I did think it could be countered, I didn't want that to be True Name Nemesis. That's all. That's the reason I did it that way, because I thought it could flip. They have another days. Okay. Now they might draw themselves, and so okay, I did try to fight the Sylvan, at least. You. So they can't really afford to pay life anymore, I would say. Sure. So we know they're still holding a days. How about this one? You have to daze it, right? You can't just let me equip. Okay, so that puts them at 7, and next turn should be lethal. So they would basically have to flip with bolt and have another bolt. Or just, they have to flip and find a bolt. Dig for a bolt. Pass. Show me you got it. They could have found, what do you call it? Brazen Borrower. Bang. Okay, I was going to say they're going to gain 2 life in response. I don't know, something could happen. You never know. Okay, so Rug Delver. Rug Delver along carpet. And then I think Anurag talked about, because they were playing a match against Rug Delver, they brought in carpet and they brought in Supreme Verdict. I would consider Veil of Summer, but maybe not. If these are the cards I'm bringing in, like True Name Nemesis, I want that to land. I feel like that's really awkward between Supreme Verdict and True Name Nemesis, right? Or these Force and Negations. Force and Negation, I'm saying they're going to land a Haymaker on their turn. Maybe those come out for that. I don't know. They seem to have been the slower. I mean, they had Sylvan Library right off the bat. I think this might be an overreaction. I like these. I want Sylvan Library, but I don't know if I can afford to pay the life to Sylvan Library. That will be my thought. I don't, because they have the damage depression. All right, they shuffled. I thought to slam carpet down, but I feel like I want to wait till I can do something about it. Okay. I guess Taiga is a way around. Nice. Okay, well, so we're going to play an Uro now. I could get one. I'll need that to play. Ah! So close. Sure. Is that unfair? It feels unfair. One, two, three, four. I did that wrong. Noble should have been on top. I did that wrong. So I have access to 6 mana, but I'm going to use 4 of it. I'm trying to bait them into playing more, whether that's greedy. It is greedy. There's no doubt it's greedy. I feel like I want him to play some stuff so that Supreme Verdict can like wipe away what they have, and then after that I can do the 1-for-1 answers with like Skyclave. This is my thought process. Whether or not it's correct, it's likely not correct, but combat, take it. So now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Things that aren't coming back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got me. Days did its job. Now is Days gonna stay in your hand to limit my? Apparently not. Earl for them again. One, two, three. I could also wait for them to bring Earl back and then I eat him. I could also play Sword of Fire and Ice. That feels pretty good. So this gives me a blocker until they somehow deal with it, which I'll live with, but also, I like that the thing this spits out are blue creatures. That's kind of cute. Sure, you're at 33. They could get a Tarmogoyf. Shoot down your dude. Draw another one of those. I would like to exile that creature, please. I'd like to play a Stoneforge Mystic, please. I'd like to go get Umazawa's Jit, please. Yep. Yep. 1, 2, 3. That'll do, pig. What do I not need right now? Suit it up. Oh, right. I forgot the card we put there. Nice. No, that's good. I'm good with my turn. That was a good turn. Sure. Now, why would you fetch prior to the brainstorm? Wouldn't you want to save the brain? Like, you have a whole bunch of cards in your hands that you obviously don't like. Skyclave Apparition eats Clothis. That card's insane. Uh-oh. Something's happening. 4 mana. Force of Vigor? First of all, how dare you? That's just rude. Now, what's going to really bum me out is that this brainstorm. That was good enough. Those are good ones. All right. We have improved. Now, I will admit, I did not sleep very well last night. Excuse me. I did not sleep very well last night, so I am kind of tired overall, and I don't want to blame on vaccine, anything, whatever like that. I think literally if I had done nothing, I would still be freaking tired today. So I don't think I'm going to get 5 matches in, but I'd like to play 2 or 3 here. So I want to temper your expectations. I don't want you to think, oh, well, he talked for freaking an hour and now we're going to get our 5 matches. No, but I want to play 2 or 3 just to see about these changes. And I mean, so far, I like the changes. If anything, Skyclave Apparition is good. Like, I mean, good. So, create the match. On the draw. Well, I mean, every time I play it, it feels like there's another thing that I wasn't thinking about it, and it's just like in that match, it was like, oh, well, they could play Clothis. And it's like, yeah, boom, it's gone. Like, that's absurd. All right, are you a creature deck? If so, giddy up. If not, this hand's terrible. Can I afford to dirtle? Now, this is a loose keep, obviously, but Sword Polisher is amazing. Pretty sure we're facing Hogak. Did you really not have lands? Now, the only thing is, I think this, I believe I should have played out Savannah. Mainly because Caracas sucks. But then I could have Savannah and Tropical Island available to me. And I think, I'm pretty sure that was a miss on my part. Now, Uro is amazing. So how I want to set this up, I'm not going to have the availability of both of them. Last card I need is Flooded Strand. So let's just put Uro on top. Okay. So we'll draw Uro. I won't be able to stack it in a way to bounce it and keep them. That sucks, but we can fetch first. I'm doing this for protection. If they go for some Vengevine, whatever, we can at least kill it. That's bad. We are now dead. Play this, fetch. Play it out, play Savannah. Do I even have another one? I do. We were looking for blue card there, buddy. Targeting me. Can I cast my Swords of Plowshares, dude? Well, we might as well start looking at the sideboard. Surgical Extractions. Containment Priest. Veil of Summer. I mean, I should have brought in an Emrakul for the mill matchup. We could play Collector Oof to turn off the altar. I don't know what happened to our opponent. I would like to cast Swords in response. Now, is Wilt better than Collector Roof? Are they likely to play? I was say, are they likely to play Leyline of the Void? Okay, they are. Still not sure what opponent is waiting on. I would like to sword you in response. Please. The main reason I'm doing it is so they can't therapy themselves. I don't know why they would want to therapy themselves, but I don't want to let them. It's not me, right? It's the opponent we're waiting on. Like, their clock is ticking down. Their clock is ticking down. Okay, we have regained priority. Okay. Yargle the Plowshares. Gave up the ability to mill one. Have another card in their graveyard. I don't know if that matters. Names, Force of Will. They got me. Face up on the table. Yep. So they currently got nothing going on. Great draw. Sorry. Have I mentioned Skyclave Apparition is a hell of a card. Woo! I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Okay. What the crap is that? Green, blue, green, blue. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't block. All right, so what did we say? Containment Priest, Surgicals, and I'm. This is where I'm saying I think the Wilt is more powerful. I don't know that it's right, but I think Wilt is more powerful than the Collector, just because we know they have the Alter Dementia. By the way, there's nothing over there. It's just when I can't think of something, I look into the blank corner of the room because I'm just like, really? You got anything? And they're like, I got nothing. No, nothing. What happened? We are not in the match anymore. There it is. Okay. So those, I think, Wilt. I think Supreme Verdict is not what we want. Maybe Sword of Feast and Famine is. There's a lot of cards coming in. All right. So I'll swap you sword for sword. Force of Negation is still relevant on some of their stuff. What makes it so terrible, Adam? What would you get rid of? I'm taking out Teferi. I'm going to take the true names out. Like, true names can break through, but I would say half their team can't frickin' block anyway, so what do I care? Team Skyclave, Stoneforge. Do I want Umazawa's Jit? Like, I don't think that's how we win. I was thinking Force of Negation against the Altar. I just want something, but my other thought was to take, should I keep True Name in and try to land True Name, and that's fair. I didn't think of that aspect of it. All right, so we could cut, this would be 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is Sylvan Library any good? I think I'm going to cut one Sylvan Library. I'm going to cut the other Sylvan Library, put Force of Negation back in, and hit submit and hope it was in time. I think it was in time. Yes. All right. So we have the turn 1 swords again. Turn 2 Stoneforge. Already have somebody to go with it. I'm going to keep. Like, I'm going after the crab because I know when I played, it felt like the crab ramped me that much more, and maybe that's wrong, but that's how it felt from my side. Are you going to discard 2? Okay, the answer to that is no. I was going to say discard the vampire guy. So they've already discarded a Force of Vigor. Do I want Sword of Feast and Famine to help them discard cards? Or do I want Jit? I think we want Jit. Are you going to name Umazawa's Jit? They did. What's up? Resolves. Batterskull? If they name Batterskull, we are on Stoneforge beatdown. Yep. Batterskull down. Hear me out. This would be hilarious. Just take a peek. Okay. I dare you to pick Uro. Oh no, not the Ponder I put on top. What's the other card I put on top? I don't remember. Hear me out. White, blue, green. Cast it. Stack it. Caracas. Tack. Now, the other idea is maybe we should just have Uro in play. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Adam, I thought you said it was a bad matchup. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was a bad matchup. We just drew well, they drew poorly. Having the turn 1 swords for them each time is certainly a powerful wizard move. But heck yeah, we're doing really well. All right, I think I got one more match in me today. So let's go ahead and play match number 13 here. Of course we got. Why would we not get lucky? I mean, if the choice is to play lucky or not play lucky, I mean that seems foolish to not do it. All right, it is not accepting that we played our match. All right, it is accepting that we played our match. All right. Third and final match of the night as I continue to yawn uncontrolled. All right, so far I would say I like these changes. What has really come up that we've noticed? It feels like Skyclave Apparition is coming up more. I mean, we put in a third one versus the 2 we had before, but Skyclave is good. Skyclave is a powerful magic card. Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, Skyclave Apparition is good. Like, I don't want to scare anybody out there. The Windswept Heath has never come up, so that was one of the cards that Wasteland turned into. The other one would be the Extra Tundra. I can't easily remark upon the Extra Tundra coming up, but the third Tundra and the Windswept Heath were our Wasteland replacements. And honestly, I don't think we have felt bad about missing out on the Wastelands. I do wonder about the lack of days. Or with days being gone, I'm okay with. I do kind of wonder about Spell Pierce. Because I don't want to force a negation on, say, a Lightning Bolt, but I wouldn't mind Spell Piercing one. You know what I mean? So force a negation number 2 for a Spell Pierce. Once Daze is out of our deck, Jace is better. Yeah, but Jace isn't coming back in. You know what happens if you play a Jace? Somebody Skyclave Apparitions it, and it's gone. That's why you don't play Jace. Someone's just going to come eat your lunch. All right, now I kind of want another Skyclave Apparition. The thing is, I want another Skyclave Apparition, and then we're going to play against, what is it, Omnitel again, and like, it couldn't have been worse when we played that match, because it was like, Skyclave Apparition, what can you remove? Yeah, 4 less. I'm all over it. Oh, yeah? Well, Omniscience costs 42. I can't take care of that one. Emrakul, 17. No, thank you. Gristlebrand, 4 plus 4 is 8. Can't get that one either. And Apparition's like, dude, I don't know what you want me to do. I kick everybody else's butt. What more do you want me to do? Apparently, I can just go on ranting when we haven't had anybody fire up for the qualifiers. Apparition takes Sneak and Sneak and Show. That is true. I also expect to die if that's happening. I guess the version we played against was the blue-white Omnitel, which I have been told relentlessly by Nathan is the better version. I mean, Sneak and Show, I believe JPA was 8-0 with it in the PTQ. I really do want to see the PTQ results. I think that will inform a lot of what we're going to do. But nobody wants to play with us. Bum, bum, bum. I'm trying to even remember what were other cards up for debate. Flusterstorm. I don't think one thing I really do want to work on is instead of like my sideboarding tends to kind of be, let's say, not optimal or haphazard or incorrect. These are all synonyms, but I really do want to have a sideboard guide of plus this, minus this in each matchup. I mean, a lot of that, I think, is going to come down to, well, I need to figure out what 75 are. I mean, so far, that's what the different lines have been here. We played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, change the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, change the deck. 1, 2. So we've changed the deck a couple times. It's a little bit harder to put together a full game plan. All right, we're playing I Create the Match. Now, I believe this is the person that just had Rug Delver in the NRG series. So I fully expect we're playing against Rug Delver. Unless somebody just has a clever Moto name that copied somebody else's name. Alright, I guess we'll see. Won the die roll. Can't keep that. Can keep this. Okay. So if they are Rug Delver, all right, we gonna get wastelanded or no? That is a no. Basic Island, maybe they're blue-red? Does this change anything being blue-red versus being Rug? Get my Exalted on. I don't know, maybe I should have anticipated Swordsing. Can I afford to pay life against them? All right, force a will. Now, do they could still have days. This is why I went for both of them. Okay. So they pitched Brainstorm. I'm hoping with 2 Force of Wills down, they don't find another. Like, the fact that they had a third Brainstorm, kind of absurd. There's going to be a hell of a Sprite Dragon. We need to find the land to not get punished on days. Nice. So if they have days, we just die. Teferi turns off future dazes. Alternatively, I brainstorm, and then I'm no better because then I'm digging for a third land. So let's just say top. Show me the days. Yep. I mean, we knew they had it. It's not like I could have done much more about it. Fetching, no, because they could have just killed the Tundra instead. All right, do you have a spell on your turn? Yay or nay? This also gives them time to find the spell. So yeah, we're just dying. All right. See, I thought they were Rug Delver, didn't necessarily give it credit. Maybe that's my fault. All right, but being Delver, I think I want carpets. We could also just look up our opponent who just recently did well. I think they made it all the way to the finals. No, did they lose in the semifinals? All right, so even though, quote, Rug Delver, interesting. So Clothis in the sideboard, Sylvan in the sideboard. Okay, so carpets, verdict, veil. They do have stifle, so I should be mindful of stifle. Can't really afford to pay life there, I don't think. Also, in general, a lot of what we're going to fight over, it feels like these force negations are weak. And then do they have Clothis as an answer to my guy? True Name can do some damage. One more. Alright. Let's see if we can fight this powerful wizard. We did mulligan. That doesn't help. Uh-oh. Alright, they mulligan to 6. Pass. They are representing Stifle. Do I get green here? Theoretically, I should have got a white source for Skyclave, but... The plan will be next turn to play Carpet with Veil and Forceback. So hear me out. All right, you have another daze. I think I can afford. Yeah, that's why I didn't run it out. I felt like Skyclave would just die. That is cool. They also could theoretically have Stifle for Skyclave's Apparition, but that seems sad. Casting Pyroblast. Okay. It's reasonable. It says non-token, doesn't it? Forgot that it said non-token. All right, I'm even more glad I didn't play it when I did. Hell yeah, I want all of these cards. Like, that's the question. Do I just start playing these out? I think I do. They have to attempt to counter this, otherwise I'm just going to go get Batterskull. If they do counter it, we have sort of Fire and Ice on the top, which is okay. Theoretically, because I wanted multiple of these, I'm just thinking maybe it would have been better to lead with swords. Maybe not. What made them wait till now, I guess? Why would you crack? Did they actually cast Brainstorm? They did cast Brainstorm. Like, I want them to commit to something, but they're not doing it. All right, do you have the 4th bolt? Do you have any spell? Bravo, sir. Hey, look, a card that would have completely changed the game. Oh well. They had been playing well, so it's not a surprise. I do think I could have sequenced in the first game differently. I think I cost myself somewhere there. Maybe I needed to jam into days sooner. I don't know. They had force, then they had force, then they had days. But I think I played it 1 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana. Maybe I couldn't have played the 3 mana spells back to back. Or should I have led 3 mana, 3 mana, 1 mana? Maybe that's where things could have been different. So, all right. Well, I think overall I'm still pretty happy with this. I do wonder if there's room for one more Skyclave somewhere, but pretty much I'm liking this right now. We'll take a look at the PTQ results just to see what kind of stuff is out there. If there are any more sideboard changes to deal with. Supreme Verdict would have been nice, but yeah. All right. Also, we probably could have sequenced that Ponder better, and then that way would have made sure to draw the right card. So we'll look for the PTQ results. We'll talk in the Discord maybe. We'll put the list up. We'll talk about possible changes in the sideboard in the Discord. If you're not following the Discord, you can put exclamation point. Is it just exclamation point Discord? That seems easy. Sure enough. All of the J Pinter MTG content I put together there, it says when I go live, I'm getting my vaccine, I might get up later today, whatever. I will talk on there. Also, you can follow the videos. We post them over on YouTube. Find me at JPinterMTG. I try to edit them up and move them over there. But other than that, I'm not planning to stream again until Sunday morning. I'm not going to play in the Saturday 7 a.m. challenge. They haven't really been going well, first of all. And then beyond that, I think I just want to focus on playing well in the showcase on Sunday. So that is going to be my goal. Thanks, everybody, for the follows, for the subscriptions, for just hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. It helps put the gathering in my magic. All right. Take care, everybody.